Hello everyone. In this presentation I would like to talk about our work on live feedback for training through real-time data visualizations using League of Legends as a use case. My name is Günther Wallner and I'm happy to present this work today on behalf of my co-authors Franz Rinders and Regina Bernhaupt. This work was actually motivated by a couple of observations. First of all, many competitive games, such as the before mentioned League of Legends, often have a very steep learning curve for new players. And players can thus benefit from systems that help them to learn to play such games. Secondly, we can see an increasing interest in analytics and visualization solutions across player communities that allow them to review their statistics, draw comparisons to other players, and analyze their gameplay on an individual or team level. Many of these solutions are, however, for post-play analysis once the game is over. In contrast, live feedback systems are much less common and much less explored to date. However, such live companions are challenging to design as they have to be informative while at the same time not distracting the player from the actual gameplay. And as such, we found it interesting to explore this design space to develop a set of design considerations for such live companions. Specifically, we pursued two goals with this work. On the one hand, we wanted to explore the information needs players have, as well as the usability and the impact of live feedback. On the other hand, we wanted to investigate the potential of physical data visualization for live feedback, because data visualizations have shown to have different cognitive and perceptual benefits, which we hypothesized could be beneficial in our setting as well. So here is a summary of the process we followed. We basically started with a pre-study to get an understanding which information of League of Legends is important to visualize in real time. And for this we conducted a community survey with 175 players and also held an expert interview with a professional esports coach. And based on these findings, we then decided to focus on three core aspects to display during play and developed a physical and digital prototype. And this is how the final physical prototype looked like. At the back of the prototype, LEDs indicate the player's creep score over time. Each bar indicates the creep score within a 5-minute time span. So for those who are not familiar with League of Legends, the creep score is important because it relates to how much gold the player is receiving. At the base of the prototype, 10 sliders represent what we called the champion's power levels. These are calculated from different metrics, and through this data the player becomes aware of which champions are strong or weak and whether it makes sense to fight a certain champion or not. A small screen in the front of the base shows a recommendation for an item that the player should buy at the current point in time. And lastly, on the left side of the prototype, LEDs will light up when new data becomes available. The digital prototype shows exactly the same information on a second screen. Going back to the process, these prototypes were then evaluated using an in-between subject design with a total of 13 participants. One half interacted with the physical prototype and the other half with the digital one. The evaluation itself consisted of 2 sessions about 2 weeks apart from each other, and in each session each participant had to use the prototype while playing a match of League of Legends. Each session was then also followed by a questionnaire and an interview with the participant. Due to the time, I unfortunately can't go in detail through all of our results, but would rather like to discuss the design considerations which we derived from our results. First, the role of information density was a recurring factor throughout the study because such tools need to strike a balance between providing detailed feedback to actually be of value, while at the same time not overwhelming the player with too much information at once. Secondly, our study showed that the value of information can change based on time or other game-related factors. Certain information, which might be of value at a certain time, may have no relevance at another point in time. This could, for example, be achieved by dynamically adapting the information which is shown. Third, information quickly becomes quite dense, even if you just show a few variables, and as such, thinking about ways how textual information can be represented visually can help to convey it more concisely. Context has also shown to be very important for players in order to be able to relate the displayed information with what is actually happening in the game. And as such, live feedback systems should seek to support such situational awareness. Connected to this, another important aspect which was raised was to not only show the information as is, but to also convey what this information actually means within the context of the game. And lastly, it's of course important to keep your target audience in mind. In terms of comparing the digital prototype with the physical device, we could see that the digital version was perceived as more efficient, to be easier to read, as well as to be more versatile. In comparison, the physical prototype was considered to be more attractive, to have higher novelty, as well as to be more visually salient. But ultimately, we could not observe any strong benefits over the digital version. However, as we only investigated one particular design, further studies will be necessary to explore those differences in more detail. And that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed it, and if my talk made you curious, I would like to invite you to check out our paper, which contains many additional findings. Thank you very much.